Hey beauties, welcome to day 5. How are you today? Are you feeling rested? Well, if the answer is no, don't worry. I've got you because today we are talking all about sleep. I think you are probably aware that sleep is super important for our overall health and well-being. We tend to get cranky, foggy, and just not feeling our best when we aren't getting enough sleep. What's more is that we actually feel more hungry when we don't get a good night's sleep. This is due to our hormones, leptin and ghrelin. Leptin is our satiety hormone. So it tells us when to stop eating. But when we don't get a good night's sleep, leptin becomes suppressed and ghrelin amps up. So ghrelin keeps telling us we are hungry when leptin isn't really present to tell us to stop eating. There are more hormones at play here, but I don't want to stress you out with the details. This challenge is about self-care after all. So, what do we recommend for a good night's sleep? The very best thing that you can do if your individual circumstance permits is to get 8 to 9, and some people even need 10 hours of uninterrupted sleep per night. It is best to develop a routine in which you are in bed at the same time every night. Are you wondering if the time you go to bed matters? The answer is yes, it does. Our natural circadian rhythm actually follows the sun because when our ancestors who did not have artificial light went to sleep, it was with the sun and it rose again when the sun rose. So, it is best to have a bedtime that is no later than 10 p.m. Another reason for that is that our growth hormone, our human growth hormone, which is what builds our muscles, is most active with the exception of when we are doing weight-bearing activity and weightlifting and things like that. It's most active from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So we are building muscle in our sleep, but only if we are sleeping. So it's best to have a bedtime no later than 10 p.m. If your schedule permits, even better if you can be in bed a little bit earlier so that you can actually be asleep by 10 p.m. Don't stress if this is not something that you can do. It's most important that you try to get 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night or day if you're a shift worker. So, what do you do to help sleep? There are actually a lot of things, but the number one thing I recommend is that you should set a bedtime routine and, of course, a schedule. Again, try to go to bed at the same time every night and get up around the same time every day. The routine can be based on what suits your needs, but here are some options. Number 1, take a hot shower or wash your face and of course brush your teeth. For some, this can be just enough relaxation to get you in the mood to go to sleep. Number 2 is turn off all screens and unnecessary light at least 2 hours before you go to bed if possible. If this isn't possible, then you may want to invest in some blue blocker glasses. You can get these on Amazon, etc. They aren't very expensive, and the blue light that's being emitted from these screens and lights and things can slow down the production of melatonin. If you need some help relaxing, try some breathing techniques, guided PM meditations, or maybe PM yoga practices. Or this might simply look like having a nighttime prayer if that is something that you like to do and it relaxes you. Number 4 is try avoiding rigorous exercise late in the evening or even just after work if getting off work 4, 5, 6 p.m. If you are somebody that can handle that, great, but it can definitely be disrupt to your sleep. So if you are somebody that is struggling with sleep, try to move your exercise up to the morning if possible. Our cortisol levels are actually higher in the morning when we wake up naturally. And so working out in the morning is really great because working out does raise your cortisol levels. And so that's part of what you don't want to happen before you're trying to go to sleep. Another idea is that some people find that reading for a few minutes before bed can also help. I do like to read before bed. The trick there is that we're trying not to have too much light, and I admittedly do have a lot of my books on my phone, so I do try to have an actual paperback for that purpose, and I just use a tiny book light so there's not tons of light shining into my eyes right before I go to sleep. And I usually time that so that I don't just stay up all night reading. Another thing that you want to maybe consider is getting some blackout curtains, because the darker your room is, you don't want to have night lights and stuff and screens on if you can at all help it. The darker your room is, the better, and keep it cool in there. The other thing is make your bedroom, if you can, a sanctuary. I know a lot of us are working out of our bedrooms. There are also our offices. Maybe we have small children that are in the room with us, and there are a lot of distractions and things. But if you can keep your work life and that kind of thing separate and out of the room, that is definitely going to help you get to sleep. Another thing is just having a really comfortable, nice bed, if possible, that you just can't wait to get into at night. Make your bed every day so that the sheets and everything are just how you like them, and just crawl in and enjoy a good night's sleep. The more routine you make this routine, the better, because your body may start reacting to the actions you choose to take before bed as signals that it's time to catch some Z's. So your body's going to start realizing, oh, we're doing this thing that we always do before we go to bed. And eventually you're going to start making those habits of, okay, when we do this and this, then we relax and we go to sleep. Please go review the email and decide on your action plan for sleep. Don't forget to use the journal prompt if you choose. And please don't be shy about stopping by the Mighty Networks group and share with us what you are working on and how the challenge is going for you.